Hello everyone, good morning. Thanks for joining with us by Drupal Fly Your Camp 2020. So this is the first time I am presenting on Drupal Fly Your Camp. Uh, First of all, I would like to thank the organizing committee who is organizing this conference as a virtual conference on this time. Hope you guys have a great day today. So we started with the great sessions, and now we are middle of the day. We had good sessions. We enjoyed those sessions, and we learned a lot from those sessions. So today I'm going to speak about open source WSO2 Identity Server SSO with Drupal 8. Uh, so uh, I am Iwantha Lekamge from Colombo, Sri Lanka. I am currently working as Associate Technical Lead for WSO2. WSO2 is open source technology provider which is based on Mountain View, California. The question is why I choose this topic. I had done it before about 1 year ago. So I had done a similar session which is about simple SAML and Drupal 8, how to connect simple SAML with Drupal 8 and connecting single sign-on environment. So in the latter part of this session, I just explained about how to connect WSO2 Identity Server with the Drupal 8. So, so in the meantime, I felt that there is some interest on audience regarding the WSO2 Identity Server because it's open source. So I prepared this session, and I thought to present it to Drupal audience. So right. So I'll explain a little bit about what is WSO2 Identity Server. So WSO2 Identity Server, it's a WSO2 Identity Server helps organization to build agile, extensible CIMS solutions to bring in better and seamless user experience for their customers. So this is the basic definition of what is WSO2 Identity Server and what is WSO2 Identity Server is doing. So I am going to present a small video about what is WSO2 Identity Server and what are the capabilities and what are the capabilities of the WSO2 Identity Server. Let's watch this video, then we can move forward with my presentation.
Identity and access management typically solve user access to applications based on their roles and attributes. With privacy regulations like GDPR and CCPA, and the rise of e-commerce platforms, businesses are turning towards enhancing customer experiences. Here's where customer IAM comes in, where IAM meets identity data to give customers better digital experiences, leading to business growth. Building CIAM solutions or working with CIAM tools has always been the developer's task. Focus on storing identity data, managing or federating them. Therefore, customer IAM solutions need to adhere to open standards, be scalable, be API driven, be extensible. Help your enterprise become agile. Introducing WSO2 Identity Server. It's an API-driven, cloud-native IAM provider for customer IAM. It provides a highly extensible platform to federate, authenticate, and manage identities across both enterprise and cloud environments. Unlike others, WSO2 Identity Server is fully open source, keeping you free from vendor lock-in. Its enterprise-grade pedigree offers advanced capabilities for customer IAM. Fortune 500 companies also use it for its ability to handle large-scale distributed deployments, enrich connector ecosystem, and most importantly, it helps you save money and time. What's best is it's an integral piece of the open source WSO2 Integration Agile platform, helping you with your most challenging API and integration projects. You can easily try the WSO2 Identity Server today. Just download and install.
Okay, so these are the product capabilities of WSO2 Identity Server. There are a lot of product capabilities, but I'm not going to discuss on everything today in my session. So I just discuss about SSO, especially how to connect WSO open source WSO2 Identity Server with Drupal 8. So when we consider about single sign-on and identity federation, so there are few things to highlight in my session. So when we consider about WSO2 identity server, 90% of WSO2 identity server deployments are used to enable SSO and identity federation. So if you are planning to set up some single sign-on environment for your organization, so this is the best. This is one of best solutions. So because anyone can download the product and anyone can set it up, and anyone can connect it with the our Drupal 8 our Drupal 8 setup. And also it is providing a lot of it is supporting for a lot of SSO standards like SAML, OIDC, WSO2 Federation, CS, just like that. So I am discussing only about SAML configurations today, as well as, so if you have any other integrations, just like Salesforce, Google Labs, and also Facebook, Google, Yahoo, Windows. So this WSO2 identity server can those third-party vendors as well. So when we consider about the customers, so there are so many customers, but I would like to highlight Hilton Worldwide here. The reason is there is one of key customer for WSO2 Identity Server. This single sign-on for 160 million plus Hilton Honors members. So basically, Hilton has connected to WSO2 Identity Server, and they have created single sign-on environment. So moving forward, so I will moving forward. So anyone can go to WSO.com website and they can download the identity server. So go to WSO.com/identity and access management. Then there is a download panel. So they are providing different type of product packs, just like installers. And also if you want to deploy it in AWS environment, you can deploy it there. And also if you want to set up a Kubernetes or Docker environment, you can set it up. And also if you need installers, yes, you can download Mac, Windows, and Linux installers to your local machine, and you can set it up there. And apart from that, if you want binary files, yes, you can download a zip archive, and you can run it on a local machine on your server environment, and you can do the configuration. Today I am going to do the binary configurations after downloading the zip file. So let's see how the things going on. So moving forward, so you know that in the today digital driven world, this connecting system is must for an organization. So when we consider about organization, there are a lot of systems and sites are interconnected. As an example, the HR systems, customer portals, stock management, and also payroll systems, web system, their blog websites, just like that. So the main challenge for an organization is connecting these systems together and together and facilitating their employees or their customers to easily connect with these different systems. So as an example, let's say some employee who want to connect for all these systems in this environment. So what employee needs to do is the employee needs to register for all these sites and systems separately. So we all know that sometimes that is not practical. So there should be some single mechanism to register for one single system, and access all other systems by using those single set of user credentials. So that's why we are going to talk about single authentication mechanism. So if your organization having a single authentication mechanism, then it's then the employee can connect. Then employee can register to one single centralized environment, and the employee can log into all the systems and sites in the environment. So in organization wise, it's very beneficial. So I will so based on those concepts, so let's talk about what is SSO. SSO is a single authentication mechanism that allows users to log into different systems, multiple systems, using one set of user credentials. So employee of the organization will have one set of user credentials, and these user credentials can use to access all the sites and systems in the SSO environment. So this is a basic example. So these three entities, the three website has connected to a single centralized single authentication mechanism. So user is there. So let's say user want to access some instance on this environment. So what user needs to do is user needs to connect to this single centralized user needs to connect to this single centralized environment, and user need to get authenticated from this central authentication mechanism, and then user can access all these sites and systems. Let's say these are the HR systems and customer portals and blog systems in the environment. So the user, the employee of the organization, need to access the HR system. Then user connecting to the centralized system and adding the single set of user credentials, username and password, and then get authenticated from there, and then user can access the HR system. Meantime, without logging to centralized system again, this user can access other sites and systems in this environment. So you may think that what are the benefits of accessing these sites and systems using one set of user credentials, and also what are the benefits of having a single sign-on environment. The main benefit for the user is, so user can use one set of user credentials and access multiple sites and systems in the SSO environment. Also, once user log into one system or one site, it will automatically log into other sites and systems in the environment. So basically, the user doesn't want to access. User doesn't want to log into each sites and systems separately. Also, let's say user want to log out from one system. So once user logged out from one system, it will automatically log out from all other systems in the environment. It will name as single logout system, SLO. These are the main benefits for the user of the organization. In the organizational wise, there are few other benefits. The main benefit is all the users, user roles, and user information are stored in centralized system, centralized environment. In the cost wise, the cost is very low when all the information are stored in one place. And also security wise, the organization doesn't want to secure different places, different system. Just organization want to do some investment to secure this centralized system only. Also the operational wise, the operational cost also low. So let's say the organization having a infrastructure team, then infrastructure team can easily manage this centralized system instead of managing the different sites and systems. Also, migration wise, the migration is easy, and also configuration also configuration also very easy. Sometimes for the SSO, and sometimes there will be new sites and systems need to connect with the organization. In that kind of situation, it's easier to have an SSO environment than the organization and infrastructure team needs to do the only system level configuration and connect with the SSO environment. Then users and user roles and everything are there. Then users can easily access that newly connected system without registering for that. So migration wise and configuration wise, it's very easy when you are using SSO environment. So I told you that the WSO2 Identity Server is supporting for a different kind of SSO standards, SAML SSO standards. Apart from that, there are few other SSO standards as well. So I have listed down those SSO standards: SAML 2.0, and also WS Federation, WS Trust or 2.0, and OpenID Connect, and also SCIM. So I am not going to discuss about everything here. So I will discuss about only SAML 2.0. So what is SAML? SAML is XML-based markup language, which is using for exchanging authorization data between identity provider and service provider. So what is identity provider? So this is the definition of identity provider. So I will get a small example and I will explain you what is identity provider and what is service provider, and what is SAML, how SAML works with this identity provider and service provider. So in this environment, there are three entities are interconnected. The user is there, and IDP is there, and also service provider is there. So service provider will consist of all the services in the environment, and IDP will consist of all the user details, user information like things. So what user needs to do is, user need to connect to IDP and get authenticated from there. Sometimes IDP will connect with the local database or LDAP server or any other data store, and IDP will get authenticate this user. So user need to send a SAML request to IDP via service provider. Then once IDP get the request, then IDP will check whether the IDP get the request from the non-service provider. So if it is from a non-service provider, so what IDP is doing, IDP will consume the IDP will get the request and do the authentication part, connecting with the data, some data store, and send in the response to service provider as a SAML response. Then service provider will consume that SAML response, and according to the response status, service provider will work. Sometimes service provider will not give access to user if there is something wrong with the user credentials. Otherwise, service provider will provide access to user for access all the sites and systems in the SSO environment. So I explain so how to connect user, SAML, and IDP service provider in my previous slide. So when it as a summary, there are 7 steps are interconnected in here. So the first step is the user is sending some login request to service provider by using by adding single set of user credentials. Then service provider get the user credentials and generate a SAML request and send in that SAML request to identity provider as a HTTP request. In the fourth step, IDP is checking whether that request is getting from the non-source, non-service provider. If it is from a non-service provider, then IDP, the identity provider, will get the request and do the authentication part and generate a SAML response with the result. Then in the fifth step, the identity provider sending that SAML response to service provider. So in the service provider decodes that SAML response and verify verify the response and giving access to user for access, allowing user to access the sites and systems in the environment. These are the 7 steps which is involved in the SAML environment. So now we are going to set up a SSO environment by using Drupal 8 and also WSO2 Identity Server. For that, we need simple Summer PHP library and also Drupal 8 instances and also simple Summer PHP or Drupal module. So basically, you can download simple Summer PHP library and simple Summer PHP Auth module, and you can set it up with the your Drupal instances in locally. So when we start with the WSO2 Identity Server, so especially so we need to go for a WSO2.com. And you can go to Identity Server and you can download this zip archive from here. After downloading the zip archive, so you can follow these steps. So for that, I have written a article, Medium article, how to connect WSO2 Identity Server the SSO with Drupal 8. So I have listed down all of the steps in here. Before that, I have written another article on single sign-on across Drupal 8. In here, I have explained how to connect your Drupal 8 instance with the simple SAML and creating SSO environment. In here, there are a lot of configurations, so we need to follow these configurations one by one. That's why so we are moving for some open source service provider, open source identity provider for connecting SSO environment with Drupal 8. So if you want to know some basic concepts of how what is single sign-on and how SAML works and how to create a single sign-on environment, simple SAML. So this is in here I have explained everything step by step. So before following up this identity server Medium article, please go through this single sign-on across Drupal 8 article as well. So let's go step by step and see how to connect WSO2 Identity Server SSO with Drupal 8. So now you have already downloaded your WSO2 Identity Server to in your local machine, and so now we are going to start the WSO2 Identity Server. So for that, so after downloading the server, so it will be just like this. So there is a bin folder. So for the bin inside that bin folder, so there is a file called WSO2 server.sh. So you want to run that WSO2 server. You execute this WSO2 server sh file, then the server will restart. Server will go at just like this, localhost 9443. It's a port. So it's a port. So UI will be just like this, and you will have some default user credentials, the username and password, both admin username and admin password. You can log into WSO2 Identity Server. The user UI is just like this. So now we want to follow up each step in this article and need to set up SSO environment. So after setting up WSO2 Identity Server, you need to set up service provider. For that, you want to go for the service provider list, and I have already created default SP service provider. Before that, so I will show you how to create a service provider. You need to go to add section, and you can add some service provider here, and you need to register that. After registering, so there are few configurations. So I will explain one by one what are those configurations. So after creating the service provider, default 8 SP, Drupal 8 SP, so you going to go to inbound authentication configuration and go to Summer to Web SSO configuration. Then go to configuration system. So issuer will be simple SAML, simple SAML, and also you need to add the consumer URL. For that, I have added the consumer URL here. This is the consumer URL. So this is the consumer URL. Sorry, I pasted in the wrong environment. Then add it. Then it will be visible here. After that, you want to enable. You want to set up the single sign-on response URL. So go for this and set up single sign-on SLO. Single sign-on SLO URL. For the URL will be different according to the your local setup. So my local setup is localhost. The port is 8888. So sometimes you will have different setup in here, and also single SSO request URL will be this user logout, and also you want to enable the attribute profile and also include attributes in the response always. Then tick the enable IDP initiated SSO, and you can register. So before that, I think missed one step. Go to Drupal 8 SP and please click on the SaaS application as well. So now you have created a service provider. So after that, the next step is to create the claim URLs. For that, you go to Drupal service provider again and claim configuration. Go to custom claim configuration and select. We need to have two claim configurations. One for the email address and second one for the given name. For that, I will add two. First of all, claim email address. Let's say the name is mail, and the second one for the name. Let's do it for the first name. I will mark it as given name, and let's make as requested claim. And you are updating it. Yeah. So now you have already created the claim URLs as well. So now you need to set up a user. For that, you can go to users and roles section, and you can add a new user. Then I create the user. Now, WSO2 Identity Server configuration is done. Now we need to set up our simple SAML PHP our Drupal 8 as a service provider. For that, we need to download that simple SAML PHP library, and you need to copy that simple SAML PHP library to in your. I have already downloaded to vendor and simple SAML PHP section. So you are going to vendor simple SAML PHP and simple SAML and www folder. Now we need to create a symlink for that. For creating symlink, you can use this command, and after creating symlink, you can see simple SAML folder in your main directory, main root. So after creating that, you want to create a htaccess file and need to add these rules to htaccess file. Now I have already created htaccess files, and I have added these rules in there. So after creating these rules, right, you need to go to config and config.php file, and you need to set up your local database with the simple SAML PHP library. For that, I'm going to vendor section and simple SAML PHP library and config, then config.php. Go to one by one the ISO type, and I have already set up as localhost and my Drupal database. Then you need to set up the username and password of the database. My username is root and my password is root, password also root, and so admin password. So my admin password is this. Then if you want, you can change the technical contact name and technical email address. This is just like, oh, it's not mandatory, this is optional one. And after setting everything, so you need to set the path for the simple SAML library. For that, now we have already created a symlink, and we need to set the symlink path like this. So after completing that, you need to update the auth resources PHP file. For that, you can go to auth resources PHP file. Sorry, you need to go to IDP. And you need to add this. So I have already added. It's just like this. But after updating the auth resources file, you need to exchange meta information between the service provider and identity provider. For that, you need to add this meta information of WSO2 Identity Server to a SAML 20 IDP remote file of the IDP. For that, we are going to metadata section. You can edit here. like this. So you need to add the meta information of the IDP to service provider. Then after that, so you can go to your Drupal setup and the simple XAML. So you can see the simple XAML, the configured simple XAML path here, simple XAML UI here. So now you have already set up WSO2 Identity Server as well as the your Drupal instance as service provider by using simple XAML PHP library. So after setting up everything, so what you need to do is you need to configure simple XAML PHP auth module. For that, you need to log into your system. Then go to extend. Now you need to simple XAML library. Now we have already installed simple XAML PHP. Simple XAML PHP module there. And also for sometimes when you are installing simple XAML PHP, simple XAML Drupal module, they are asking for the external authentication module as well. So we have already installed the external authentication module as well. So now we have set up simple XAML PHP library, WSO2 Identity Server, and also simple XAML PHP auth module. For that, now you need to go for admin config PHP and simple XAML auth section. Go to admin config. Then this simple XAML PHP auth UI. So we need to set up the created application here. So a created application is default SP. We have created default SP here. We have created default SP. Then name of the after setting up SSO environment, so in the login section we will have a link. So you need to click on that link. Then you will automatically redirect to authentication. For the name of that link is Federation Login. After that, that section is done. Then user info syncing section. For the user info section, you need to set up mail and also if name. You have created a claim mail and if name. So you need to set up mail and if name also here. Then you need to synchronize username on every login. You need to click on that, and synchronize email address on every login. Please click on those two options also. So I think so we have done every configuration in here. Local authentication. So if you want to remove your super admin from SSO environment, so you can add you can remove that as super admin from here. If you want to remove more users, you can add user ID by comma separate in here, and also you need to allow authentication with your local Drupal account, local Drupal accounts, and also you can allow users to set up Drupal passwords. So you need to enable that configuration as well. So users So the users who are accessing this, using this SSO environment, there should be a role. So I am assigning user role as authenticated user. Now every configurations are done. So after the every configuration, so I am logging out. So after logging out, so I'm going to log in again. In the login environment, login screen, after every configuration, you can see this federated login button. So when you click on the federated login button, you will automatically redirect to WSO2 Identity Server. Then you can add the user name and password we set up here, and you can get authenticated from there. So this is the basic details of setting up open source WSO2 Identity Server with the Drupal 8. So if you or your organization want to set up a SSO environment, so what you need to do is, first of all, you need to download the WSO2 Identity Server. If you can't download that, so you can go for one of these instruction option, and you can do the you can do the product deployment. And after that, you need to follow up you need to follow up these steps. You can find my article from the media. So if you are totally new to single sign-on, so what you need to do is you need to follow up my other article. So how to set up single sign-on across Drupal 8, then you can get the basic idea on that. Then you can move to SSO. You can move to WSO2 Identity Server configurations. So this is this. So I am good, and I am done with the configuration. So if you have any questions, yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask from me now. We have I think 15 minutes to discuss if you have anything to discuss. I know that sometimes we can't easily cover all of the steps in small time, because those configurations are, so I need actually a lot of time to explain each and every steps and each and every configurations. So basically what you need to do is you can follow up those Medium articles. And also if you want to connect with me, what you can do is I will share my information here. Hold on a second. So this is my medium blog, medium at Iwantha. And also you can connect with me via LinkedIn, and if you have any question, you can send me a message. And also I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/Iwantha Lekamge. If you have any question or anything, if you can connect with me via Twitter as well. So basically, if you have learned anything, or you have got anything, if you have anything to tweet, just tweet. And also if you want to get more information, if you want to get support from me, just send me an email address. Send me an email. My email address is iwantha@wso2.com. So let's see if there is any questions from the team. Yeah, it seems we don't have questions. So thanks for joining with me and thanks for joining with me. And also thanks for the organizing team for giving us opportunity to discuss about how to set up SSO environment. So thanks all. Enjoy the day. So there will be good more sessions. Connect with them. So thanks. Have a good evening. Thank you.